Well, our little group finally emerged from the Underdark, and we took some time to appreciate the light of day we had long missed being down there. Eventually, we found us an inn, and after some convincing that Althea was not in danger, they let us stay the night. I don't quite recall much of the time there, save for the fact that Miss Erin was the first to leave our group. I recall seeing Miss Erin leaving the inn, and I guess to avoid the prince, since he seemed to be quite smitten with her. I asked her what she intended to do now that she was back to the surface, and her reply surprised me a little. Turns out she has taken an interest in the Underdark, and is going to look more into it. Vanek left soon after the dawn arrived, and he told me while we had our little party, his intentions were to learn more about the Demon Princess we came across. Otherwise, he also needed to locate a temple belonging to his god, and seek some guidance about the matter. Not that I would know much about anything religious. Well, as for the others, Lady Ildeth headed back to her home of Ghelfi, saying she needed to tell her king about everything going on in the Underdark. As to the self-proclaimed prince, Darendale, well, I'm guessing he went to search for his supposed kingdom and get back what he is due. Finally, Miss Lindsay headed northward to find her own people. As for the rest of our remaining members, I decided it best to head back to home, Neverwinter. Zed decided to join us, and I definitely won't turn down another hand. Once we arrived at Neverwinter, we began taking on minor bounties and other odd jobs while looking for some new gear. Info about a group of slavers the Athos had interest in, and finally we found a way to have Althea magically transform into a more human form. As for Sister Miriam, I didn't have much time for her, like I would have wanted, to help her become more independent and bring back a sense of wholeness from her entire ordeal down in the Underdark. Also, I had to deal with Little John and the new bard he hired, Lyra Silverstring. He had to make sure his stories were as true to what happened as possible, though him and Zed seemed to get competitive when recounting the tales.
All of you receive a letter. Actually, the majority of you receive a letter. Those of you that have traveled further or gone off, like Vanek or Aaron, who've probably gone off on their own, would have sending sent to them. But all of you are summoned to Gauntlegrim for an audience with King Bruenor Battlehammer concerning your experiences in the Underdark.
Seems important. Let's go.
Well, never have talked to a king before.
Well, you are summoned. It takes you however long from the various places you've all been at to head to the city of Gauntlegrim, the ancient capital of the once great Dwarven Empire. And immediately upon getting there, you are greeted by a familiar face, none other than Elden, as she welcomes you to her home city of Gauntlegrim. I've got nothing befitting a kingdom.
I would love to know what the purpose of this is.
Obviously, to let out water.
Weekly showers. Right there in the welcome.
Just pass under, that's it.
I guess. But you are welcomed as the king's guests and escorted through the city. You are shown to your guest quarters and told that you will be brought before the king in the morning. In the meantime, you are welcome to do as you please in the great city of the dwarves.
Well, I don't know about you two, but I do know that the dwarves like to party. So, how about we go find ourselves a tavern and get a drink?
Well, there are plenty of taverns within
I know my way around.
Gauntlegrim. I don't think any of you have actually been to Gauntlegrim, and as such,
Lyra, have you been here?
she has not been to Gauntlegrim. she tends to stay above the ground. She's not a huge fan of dwarven cities or their architecture. But you get out, and you immediately run into the first... do you go to the first tavern you find?
Yeah, might as well.
Alright, you run into a tavern called the Piss and Whistle.
That sounds about right.
We sure we want to drink here?
Yeah. Apparently so.
What was that?
I said yeah.
Piss and whistle. That's the
Even-
sound coming
Even
out of
the
the piss and
kid
whistle.
says yeah.
Yeah.
Though, I definitely think we need to keep Althea away from the drinks. Don't need another incident.
Be fine.
Yeah, and I believe you said that last time, too.
He's the only one that can keep up.
Well, you all go into the Piss and Whistle.
Yes.
Yes.
I do.
Ah, they mention hard ale and harder company. It should be fun.
It is a play on words,
Good idea.
but they are well known of all the places. The Piss and Whistle does have a signature drink.
Yeah, what's the signature drink?
It's served in a whistle.
It's called the Dragon's Piss.
How's that?
Althea's got to try this.
Oh no!
John, what did I just get done saying?
You heard the name of it?
And you really think that she's gonna want to try something like that?
Yes.
I mean, Althea would. Be...
Why would I need to drink dragon's piss?
Try it. Don't think it's made with real dragon's piss. It's just a name.
I mean, you never really know with these dwarves sometimes.
It's
Nah.
a dumb name.
Meaning any offense to many nearby.
It's a dumb name, and whoever named it is dumb.
The fun name. Whoever named it is fun.
Then you drink it.
I plan to.
Oh god.
It's a pretty cheap drink. They sell it for 5 copper.
Whoever named it, I'm sure they meant to call it the Dragon's Kiss. Simple as it burns like hell, and it's just as...
You hear several gruff laughs come from the dwarves that overhear you in the tavern.
It's gonna burn like piss.
One of them calls out, "It tastes exactly like you'd expect. You usually don't need a second one."
Why does that sound like a challenge to John?
I will be having many of these tonight.
All right. Well, you buy
Keep 'em coming.
you buy the Dragon's Piss.
Yep.
Make a con save.
I will laugh if you get a 1.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But basically, is every time you roll below 10, you take a D4 damage.
Oh no. Good old dwarven stuff. I think I'll just stick with my regular ale.
It's not good. It's not a good drink. It tastes pretty bad.
Doesn't matter now. I'm not gonna taste it pretty soon.
They go to the meeting with the king with the worst hangover.
I don't usually talk at these events.
It's probably a good thing you're not drunk showing up there either.
How many con saves you want?
How many are you drinking?
I mean, that's literally per
Yeah.
however many you decide to drink, 5 copper each.
Ooh.
Just come down there.
In the bar in the back, and lo and behold, did he drink dragon piss?
Althea, you gonna try some?
Many, many times.
The the other drink they have is called the Green Kobold.
Alright, that sounds interesting.
I'll try one of those.
It's a shot of liquor literally served in or wrapped in ham. You drink the liquor,
yeah.
then you eat the ham.
That's amazing.
Tyler,
two.
you try this.
How big is the ham?
It's not. I mean, it's not
Is it
huge,
just
but
like a little shot?
I mean, it's
Wow.
a decent chunk.
I'm just Yeah, that's all I'm imagining is a chunk of ham that they've hollowed out.
It's the equivalent of a bread bowl, but ham and liquor.
I'll shove it all my mouth at once.
If you really want, you can try to eat it with the liquor still in it.
I want to.
I order one as soon as I see it brought.
Those cost a silver. Because you're getting food too.
Want to have gold.
I'll have 2.
Is 10 silver, 1 gold?
10 silver is 1 gold, yeah.
I'll take a couple.
And I'll take that.
Just it's like 10.
That.
Ugh, I'm gonna be the only one showing up not with a hangover.
But, of course, Eldet is with you, and she orders a dwarven stout. A very strong drink, not recommended if you can't handle your alcohol. And, of course, served on the rocks. And when they bring it over, there's literally pieces of rocks sitting in the bottom of the drink. She takes a sip.
Reminds me of the mines. Makes me feel at home. Which I am.
That you are.
She seems much cheerier and happier here in Gauntlgrim.
Well,
she-
I don't know if I have the stomach to keep up with dwarves in terms of drinking, but I might have the nuts. I'll order a dwarven stout as well.
It's a strong drink. She
You know
slaps
what?
you on the back.
You know what, Diathos? I bet you 2 gold you and I can't outdrink her. Wait.
Yeah, I'll take her. Okay.
That seems like a losing bet to me, my friend.
You're betting 2 gold that
I meant-
both of you are going to
I
lose
meant-
to her.
I meant it as a challenge towards him, but my brain shut off.
Already getting drunk.
Are
AC.
you already drunk, my friend?
Because I started early
I am
on.
not drunk.
Are you sure? You've had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
No one can drink me. I'm too strong.
Plus whatever that goblet ham thing. I believe you wanted one.
But yes, I propose a drinking contest between myself and Diathos.
I order another one after you guys tell me I'm too drunk.
I'm happy. I got a full belly of ham and booze.
Well, so obviously con saves to determine who's going under first.
I should probably actually do con saves for that in this case too. At this point, not just if it hurts me.
Generally, I prefer to drink all day rather than just an hour. But alright. I believe I'm wasting good con saves here.
Find Eldeth's sheet. Go. Okay.
What?
Wow!
Starts off low. Luckily, it's still early, so she's all right as long as she doesn't keep rolling low. Well, the drinks keep coming, and I'm assuming you guys keep drinking. Next round. Oh my
shit.
gosh! Well, Lucas can't hold his liquor, and he goes under. Eldeth is barely keeping up.
And of course, John.
Little John is managing, despite the fact that he's already had so many.
It's the one thing I can do.
Eldeth can't take it, and she's...
John, stop it!
I was already drinking earlier, so this doesn't count.
Aye, not a fair fight. I understand. So then perhaps we can have another one. Later on, of course.
Another time.
Is John still drinking?
I turn to my friend. Well, Lucas. It appears you lost. Mayhaps I'm better at drinking than I let on.
You have no responses. I am out.
Lucas is actually passed out.
I'll remind you in the morning.
Just rummage through his stuff. Take what you need.
Oh, okay.
Said no.
How much did you bet?
2.
Get 2 gold. You lose.
I guess I'll take 2 gold.
Go to find that belt. I'll lose your pants.
You're going to wear your pants.
Oh no, I'm gonna wear that illusion pants.
Just.
Take it out.
We cast a spell illusion. His pants go away.
And you can see the green stuff fluffing around. Don't you?
Well, yeah, those can you outdrink John?
How much for a round for the entire bar?
The entire bar.
Oh, don't you dare steal more money from me.
Use the 2 gold you got on Sam.
20 gold.
Oh lord.
There's a fair few
Then I'm
dwarves
taking
in here
18
right
more
now.
gold from him. Dick! And I'm putting it all. What's 2 or 20 or 200?
I'm gonna step away for just a moment.
I'm sure he'll thank me in the morning when we've given ourselves a proper reputation.
Yeah, proper reputation. The Minotaur is out drinking everybody. And I'm out cold.
But at least you're generous.
While my friend is literally just digging through my bag.
Something like that.
Little John doesn't even notice it happened.
I mean, you're getting more rounds, so you're happy for it.
Alright. What else are people doing? How long are we gonna keep up the drinking? Show this off.
Did we have somewhere to
I'm
be
gonna
today, or were we
Gary
waiting?
Lucas.
Only tomorrow morning. The rest of the day you can do whatever you want.
I guess I'll continue drinking with Little John.
Well,
I'll sit down next to Little John. I doubt I can outdrink you, but
You have some catching up to do.
then I'm out. Well, that's my first bad roll, but
But, you guys do anything else on this day off before you go have your audience?
oh, and everyone here will get 11 temporary hit points.
Well, this is Manic.
Don't forget to
You guys doing
keep
anything?
track of those.
Gonna take that as a no. Well, after a rowdy day of drinking and gallivanting in the first tavern you walked into, you get your long rest, and several of you have at least some level of hangover the next morning.
Well, that's because you're too young to drink.
Shit. I still had poison on my character sheet last month.
He's been dying of poison very slowly.
Right, you still have that madness too.
But nonetheless, you are able to freshen yourselves up, prepare yourselves before you are brought to the audience. You are taken to a mighty hall in which a red-haired dwarf of fierce and proud demeanor sits upon a massive stone throne, flanked by a number of guards and advisors. Although a long stone table has been set to one side, laid out with refreshments, there do not appear to be any other guests. "Welcome, friends," says the king. "I've a mind to know about the rumblings and rumors about the going-ons in the depths outside my city. If you relate to me what you know, we can talk about what you might want to do next."
Well, Your Majesty, not to seem rude or nothing, but what makes you think we want to do anything about that stuff down there?
Because what's the danger down there will eventually threaten the surface. You know, where you all live.
And we're one of the idiots who lives there.
Swear, internet's getting worse and worse around here. Unless you all heard them cut out too.
Who cut out?
I heard someone and where, and then that was it.
Oh, no. Kelly.
Nope.
Kelly didn't cut out
Nope.
ours.
I don't know if it's you.
Well, What
me?
exactly do you
Yep,
want to
my chance.
know?
Go and grab.
Exactly what happened to you?
Well, first off, little John here and I were hunting down on Deep Gnome by the name of Jim Jar and was captured by the drow where we met the rest of these fine folk.
I did not meet you in any prison.
Besides Diathos and the sister here, as well as my daughter. They all came later.
You know how that sounds.
I realize how that sounds. But we escaped there with Elda's help. Traveled to... what's that place again?
Crackles, dude.
No,
the
the
Toa village.
Sloobadoop. Right? Sloobadoop?
Schlabbadoo.
Sloobadoop.
Bunch of fish people. Where
And
they,
make sure Lyra is writing us down.
She is.
where, we kinda got caught between a power struggle between two different of their factions, serving two different gods, I guess you could say. Where it turned out one of them was actually real, by the name of, what, Nimagugun?
I mean, they were pronouncing it Lemogugun.
I know they were pronouncing it that way. This is how I'm pronouncing it.
Yep. And that's up to you. That is entirely up to you.
Of which we ended up having some difficulties there. I don't really want to speak about that. Wasn't pleasant. Either way, we got out of there, made it to Grackle Stew, where we ended up dealing with some... I'm not quite sure why we always have to keep running into power struggles. But it seemed like there was a cult down there, trying to take power or something. Ended up dealing with that. Found my daughter there.
It's the Underdark, my friend. There's a power struggle on slow days.
Met Diathos and freed the sister. Then after that, we went to Neverlight Grove, and that was not fun at all. Seems... God, what's her name again? Zugmatoy?
Yes.
Another one of your demons is taking over the place. Well, we left that area as well and went to Blindenstone, where we ended up dealing with a bunch of slimes and a deep gnome going by the name of the Pudding King. Said something about Jubilex. Still not sure on what that means.
He's hungover.
He's still drunk.
Then killed that little son of a bitch. And well, fought drow and made it back to the surface.
Sounds like you've had quite the adventure. So, you've had run-ins with the demon lords,
Eh, you could say that.
and you've actually seen these demons.
Yeah. We've seen one. The other two kind of had their names spoken.
Did you mention the strange ritual in your Grackle Stew? Throwing second heads on giants?
Alright, there was that, wasn't there?
I wasn't part of that, so I'm saying that as character, as a first player.
Yeah, we ended up having to deal with a giant that had a second head grow from it too. That cult had some sort of ritual going on.
So is this cult, are they the ones responsible for summoning all the demons?
Yeah, possibly.
It's understandable that they might have a hand in it. I would doubt that they work alone.
So this cult has infiltrated Gracklestug and Lubidoop, as well as...
Sloobadoop don't exactly exist no more.
But the cult was there. You said they're summoning the demon lord.
Yeah, I said the fish people were summoning the demon.
Aye.
I don't think they were part of the cult.
So maybe not the fish people. But Blendenstone, you said that there's someone trying to summon a demon.
No, there was a deep gnome that was controlling a bunch of slimes.
But you mentioned Jubilex. That's one of the demon lords.
As he melted away, yeah.
So another member of this cult.
It could be a separate thing, but could be part of the cult. Don't know, didn't ask. Kinda just put an arrow between his eyes.
Is there any kind of pattern to these rituals or summonings, as far as you can tell?
I look over at Venick and Aaron.
Sorry, what?
His lordship's asking if there was any patterns to the daemon stuff.
I mean, not that I remember, but
Not that I remember either. Can I make a check to see if I remember?
I mean, you did not. There were not any particular patterns other than the fact that they were all in the Underdark.
Well, other than that, they all take place in the Underdark, and that it's usually underneath some sort of established settlement. Places with history, I suppose.
I mean, for the most part, we were just trying to get out of the Underdark and avoid them drow.
Well, it would seem trouble tends to follow you.
Unfortunately, it's been my life. I glance at John.
But it's
These
been
days,
fun.
I tend to follow trouble.
Well, this is grave news indeed, if all of it is true. Nonetheless, I believe you'll be playing a vital role in what the next step will be. You'll be returning later tonight. We plan to have a feast, and we'll be welcoming others that have an interest in these demons in the Underdark. In the meantime, you're dismissed.
I'll bow
You-
and then proceed out.
Yeah, you are ushered out of the Grand Hall of the Kings, and you're told that you will be summoned back for supper. But for the rest of the day, you can do again as you please. Though it is recommended you not get too drunk before the feast.
Now, John, you do remember those manners I taught you, right?
Manners. What do you mean? What did I do wrong now?
No, it's for the feast tonight.
I mean, we eat at a feast.
Yes, but try not to just use the fork.
I will do my best.
Well, do you do anything in the time between the dinner and your since the initial audience and the dinner?
We never did get the sister any actual gear, did we? Except the mace.
Not really, no.
Probably
Did
did.
all the other followers just kind of go on their own separate ways then?
Basically, I mean, the only other followers you had were you had Eldeth. She went home.
Mm-hmm.
There and
Althea stayed with you. Darendelle left. Sister Miriam stayed with you. Jimjar disappeared back in Blingdenstone, and Lindsay left. Obviously, your golem's been following you around and slowing you down, and you've acquired Lyra.
Perhaps the dwarves have something to make it easier to bring my lady around.
We're gonna put wheels on her?
Is that all you're gonna actually call her? Or are you actually gonna
That's her
give her a
name.
name?
That's her name.
Just my lady?
Yes.
First name Mai, last name Lady.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Middle
each
name
their
Bear.
own.
But if you don't have anything else to do, you are brought to back to the audience chamber and welcomed once again as the honored guest. And this time, there are a number more people. The food is set out. Definitely appetizing looking feast. Lots and lots of attendants. There are, let's see, various, you would assume, representatives of surface factions, as well as lots of advisors to the king. But you do recognize one person. It takes you a moment. None other than Prince Darendelle.
Oh, hills.
He has
Should have killed
returned.
him.
He wears a very ill-fitting suit of elven chain. He now carries a fancy-looking elven sword at his belt, And he seems to have actually got a little entourage following him around.
Well, Miss Erin, it looks like your lover boy is back.
You prince away.
I should have just died.
Should have just.
Would you like?
And upon seeing you all, he immediately... his face lights up and he strides over to all of you. It has been quite a while. Tell me, how has everything been going? After we parted ways, leaving that dank, awful place, the Underdark. You look lovely as ever, Aaron. And he attempts to take your hand and kiss the top of your hand.
I mean, at this point, I know he's drained, so I'll just let him in. Whatever.
Offer him your foot.
He might like that thing more.
Probably
It's only
into
too
that.
far off his ass.
Oh
Oh,
dear. But he does have 5 elves following him around.
well, Darndale, who are these?
Ah, yes, these are my companions that I have assembled. You won't believe it. You know, I spoke of the kingdom that I am a prince in.
I
Nope.
can't get it out of my head.
It would seem that somehow I have ended up in an alternate timeline. The kingdom doesn't exist.
What a surprise.
As such, I must take land and power for my own. I plan to found the kingdom and rule it.
With the 6
So
of
far.
y'all.
Now, humble beginnings. One must start somewhere.
Well, I certainly wish you the best of luck in all your endeavors.
Of course, dear Prince, of course. What is...
There's someone
What is
chewing on their someone chewing on their mic right now.
Oh, that's their dog!
I'm pretty sure I know exactly what that is.
I love how it's happening when we're talking Daredevil.
Daredevil has acquired a strange tick where he keeps licking his teeth and lip every so often.
Ugh.
It gets creepier every time we see him.
But, yes, nonetheless, there are several other people chatting, sitting, talking, eating. And you are welcome to help yourself to the food.
I could already imagine Zed and John already over at the food.
Kyrie, go off over the
Yep,
food.
waiting.
Over there.
But eventually, at various points throughout the night, you are introduced to the people that are here. You're introduced to one Lord Zelron Roaring. He is a human wizard that is the representative of the Harpers. They are concerned about the news of demons in the Underdark, and as such, if this is a legitimate threat, if the demon lords are actually down there, the Harpers must act. And in absolute agreement with Lord Roaringhorn, you are introduced also to Sir Laniver Strail, the representative of the Order of the Gauntlet, a knightly order primarily consisting of paladins, but there are also fighters, clerics, and the sort. And their goal to stamp out evil wherever they find it. If there are demonic forces from the abyss gathering in the Underdark, they must be dealt with. One of King Brunor's advisors is actually also a member of the Emerald Enclave. Morista Malkin, a dwarf, and while she is already loyal to the king and as such believes that whatever he orders should be obeyed, she also has dual loyalties to the Emerald Enclave and must therefore have proper reasoning to give to the Enclave as to why they should support King Bruno. There is also another lord, Lord Aravian Hand of the Lord's Alliance. He has come to hear about this so-called threat, though he personally thinks it is over-exaggerated, and honestly believes that people need to settle down and stop worrying so much. And last but not least, Davra Jasur, a representative of the Zentarim. They are a useful organization to have on your side. Their resources could come in handy if there is a desire to defeat the Demon Lords. But over the course of the feast, you are introduced to all of these members. And Eldeth would gather you all and say that she brings you word from King Brunor that he has gathered these representatives, the Harpers, the Order of the Gauntlet, the Emerald Enclave, all of them, in the hopes that they can join together and deal with this demon threat. My king believes you. He has no doubts that you're telling the truth about these demons. However, he hopes that ye can convince the rest of them that this is a legitimate threat. So, over the course of the coming days, if you could persuade them, the king would be much obliged. But eventually, the feast is put away. Everyone feels full. You had a hearty meal, and the king dismisses you all once more. So, you have now been tasked by the king to win over the representatives of the various organizations.
Harpers, Order of the Gauntlet, the Emerald Enclave, Lord's Alliance, and the Zentarim.
And the Zentarim.
Oh, it's quite the gathering.
I mean, given that the Harper sent a wizard, I can do that.
Well, I don't think the Harpers would be too hard to convince, being as they do like to hunt down everyone. It's probably going to be the last three, the Emerald Enclave, Lord's Alliance, and Zentarim, that are going to be more difficult to convince.
Show off your muscle.
You're just going to show them your muscles, strike a few poses.
Well,
Do a little
the Zentarim
helicoptering.
looking for a profit. They're more
I mean,
long
given that, like,
nature, and as we have experienced, already seen firsthand, the perversion of nature based on these cult's activities, it should be well within their purview to quash it out.
Well, especially if there's a toy.
Oh, and Eldeth would have informed you that of all the groups, the most important to convince would be the Zentarim.
I was gonna say, like, half their business is in the Underdark, so...
Yes, exactly. They have checkpoints, and above all else, a base of operations within the Underdark. So,
Oh, great.
having them is probably the most important.
You could have some fun with this.
Are there any terms that the king would like us to get them to agree
Actually,
to?
I missed a thing. So, after the feast, the king would, or you'd be invited by Eldeth to speak with the king personally again, not in the audience hall, but in a private chamber. I've told the allies you met tonight what you told me. I invited them here to learn what's happening, to share what we know, and to get their backing for what I propose. You've braved the Underdark and lived to tell the tale. You know better than anyone what it is we face, but we need to know more. The Zentarim have a stake in a secret Underdark trading post called Mantle Derath. If you can get them on our side, they'll guide you there, where you can meet with one of their agents, Gazrim Dulok. He can provide you with a map to Graven Hollow. Legendary place, built by the stone giants ages ago. Said to contain all the knowledge of depths. There's answers to be found for what has happened. You find them there. If you're willing to go back, that is.
Well,
I as I mentioned before, I actually follow trouble these days. I don't mind getting back.
I guess I could take up this job as long as it pays well.
I don't propose to send you into the Underdark unequipped. On top of that, I hope you can make an impression on those who've gathered here, so that they'll support your cause on this mission. From all I've seen and heard, I think you might be the ones that can do what needs to be done.
Are there any terms you'd like them to agree on? Negotiations?
You kind of broke out there.
No, that was the end. Like any kind of negotiations you'd like us to make. If the Zent are the most important recruits, I imagine they're going to want to strike some sort of profit.
Yeah, I think we need to take into account that this is a threat to all of Faerun. Obviously, the Third Coast is going to suffer first, and probably, with your description, the North, mostly, if they're all around here. So I'd hope they'd be willing to see reason, and realize that demons should be sent back to the Abyss. But if they'll only respond to a mercenary's best friend, Gauntlegrim has
I flip a
gold
gold
to
coin.
offer.
More or less that I have the idea. We can bargain for their facilities, their checkpoints, their intel, but it's probably going to come out of our own pocket if we purchase their provisions.
Wait, what'd you say?
That it's going to come out of our own pocket if we wish to purchase their provisions, their equipment.
As I just said, I don't propose to send you back unequipped. I am the king of Gauntlegrim. I am not without means.
I meant it more along the line of feeding them what they want to hear.
And as I stated, if they need to be convinced by being paid, then so be it. Though, if you need to be paid to try and stop demons from killing everyone, I'd question your ethics.
I mean, I'm not worried about being paid. I'm just trying to make sure we get as many on our side as we can.
I agree. But as I stated, the most important thing is making sure we get access to Mantle Derek. Otherwise, finding Graven Hollow is probably going to be more difficult.
Well, should we all start rolling history rolls so we can get more in-depth descriptions on what these orders represent, what they're looking for?
I mean, most of you have at least heard of them.
I was going to say we could just go up and ask them.
Yeah, the Harpers definitely most of us would have heard of because they're pretty common, right?
I mean, yeah, the most common one would be the Lord's Alliance, because
Yeah.
they're all up and down the entire Sword Coast. They're an alliance
Of
based
lords.
off economic. Oh yeah, but not just lords, but like merchants and stuff. Their goal is to maintain stability so that the economy doesn't crash. Order of the Gauntlet
They are
would
Wall
probably
Street.
they're the lawful neutral group. Order of the Gauntlet would probably be the second most well known because they're the ones that basically go crusading everywhere, send paladins to go fight the evil. They try and protect the land. The Harpers are, I mean, people know about them, but
oh,
they
yeah,
tend
they're
to be
more secretive, aren't they?
Yeah, they have agents that
Spies.
act on their behalf. Not really spies. They're more like AAA. You call them up. And they provide
Okay.
roadside assistance.
Okay, that fits them better.
You call them up and they give you roadside assistance. And obviously, the Emerald Enclave. They are well
Emerald
known, but
Enclave,
not as big.
do they protect just the laws of nature, or is it a certain sect of the land?
I mean, they tend to. That depends mostly because they're much more individualists. Most of their agent or members operate in isolation. It's actually rare for the Emerald Enclave to have groups or like gatherings. They tend to just see themselves as protectors of the natural world. Sometimes they step forth from the wilderness in order to help others survive the perils of the wilderness. There are a handful that are specifically charged with protecting sacred glades or preserving the natural balance. But if a threat is great enough, multiple members can be called together to face a dangerous enough foe, especially a foe that disrupts the natural order.
Kind of gotten arguments worked out for each of them so far.
Well, if that's all we needed to do, then I guess we'll be your people then.
Excellent. As I stated, I don't intend to send you out unequipped. It's not back up to the days of yore. But we have been working on getting the Great Forge burning again. We have begun producing magic items and weapons of wonder. If there are things that will aid in your quest, I'll see what I can do to get them made, provided we have the materials and those capable of making them. Long gone are the days where you could hear the hammering and songs of 100 smiths working out. But I hope it might come again. Hopefully soon.
We'll just keep that in mind.
Yeah, we'll definitely be keeping that in mind.
Well, then I dismiss you once more, and wish you best of luck and blessings of Moradin upon you. Go and convince him. I'd hate to see you stand against the demon lords alone. So, obviously you just had supper. It is late.
Oh, no such thing as having supper in light. Here's midnight supper.
I can believe said getting up and just grabbing something to eat.
But nonetheless, as you all return to your quarters, a messenger arrives, a dwarf that happens to be wearing the colors of the Harpers. He bows deeply and presents a finely crafted letter, the parchment embossed with the silver harp and crescent moon.
Well, I'll accept it. Open it up, read it.
It says, Lord Roaringhorn requests the pleasure of your company for dinner this evening. He wishes to discuss matters of great importance and test the wit of one among you.
Well, I hope y'all wasn't too full from earlier.
Give me 5 minutes. Let me take a dump.
5 minutes and a dump. That'll be good.
Well, it's the letter is specifically stating that he wishes to meet one of you.
Ah. Well, who wants to go meet the Lord?
And he wishes to test their wit.
Contest of witticism.
And who's witty?
Well, that'd be me with
Well,
the intelligence score.
Miss Aaron, looks like you're up to convince the Hopper.
Yay. But we just had dinner.
Like 5 minutes and poof, good to go.
Zed, we all aren't like you.
Get a raid and poof, that's it.
You decide to send Aaron then?
If she's willing.
I can't possibly win a battle of wits when I'm leaving speechless by flexing my muscles.
Right, well, Aaron, you're going to go speak to Lord Roaringhorn?
Yep.
All those muscles.
Yeah, at least it ain't Darendale.
With Aaron selected, she follows the messenger through the bustling streets of Gauntlgrim, sounds of industry gradually fading, the day ending, and you approach a more secluded and opulent part of the city, eventually arriving at a grand hall, its entrance flanked by statues of noble dwarves, adorned with intricate carvings. Inside the hall, it is a marvel of elegance and sophistication. A long table set with fine china and crystal goblets, illuminated by the soft glow of enchanted lanterns that float above you. The air is filled with aromas. It would seem that Lord Roaringhorn has realized that a second dinner would be a bit excessive, and as such he has simply set out drinks.
Good save, Joe.
Lord Roaringhorn, a middle-aged human man with short dark hair and elegant blue robes, rises to greet you. His gaze seems to appraise you with a hint of curiosity and respect. Welcome, he says. Please, join me. We have much to discuss. And He beckons you to come and sit at a table with him, and as you walk further into the room, you notice in one corner stands a towering shield guardian, its eyes glowing faintly with arcane energy. He has servants bring out fine wine, as well as a few delicate pastries with rich, savory filling. As you sit and drink, Lord Roaringhorn engages you in conversation,
Ah, darn it.
Mm-hmm.
Keep talking.
seemingly trying to probe your thoughts on matters of politics, strategy, and the arcane. And how exactly do you think we can handle a situation where there are so many factions that might not actually be on the same side? There are the chance of misunderstandings, after all. Not everyone who has been brought here to this meeting have the same goals, I would say.
I feel like we all agree on the biggest goal, which is that, like, demons showing up is bad, and, like...
There could be those who think they can profit from situations, though.
I mean, then we just show them, like, how... We give them an example, like, firsthand, without even, like, asking them. We just... Joe, I had a speech written out. I didn't, like, have questions. Didn't have a Q&A section.
Nonetheless, as I stated in my letter, I wanted to test the wit of your adventuring party. And as such, he gestures at a beautifully crafted chessboard set up in the corner of the room. Pieces made of precious metals and gemstones, each a work of art. He then points to the shield guardian. Let us see if your mind is as sharp as your blades. A game of chess. Test your wit and your cunning. If you are worthy, then I shall grant you the use of my shield guardian.
That'd be very helpful. Now you can definitely keep Darendelle away.
So,
Take out a restraining order.
you basically must make intelligence checks to determine if you can make well enough moves to impress Lord Roaringhorn.
Intelligence battle. It's a good thing I'm not doing it.
I should.
Alrighty.
Flips the table.
Yeah, no, that would have been John's response.
Yep.
That would have been mine too.
I probably would have used performance as sleight of hand to put things into my favor
sorry.
whenever I could.
I finally have a
We have
response. So the people who would profit off this, we use that to our advantage and, like, kind of make them think that they will profit in some way, but, like, more if, you know.
Convince them it's more profitable to help you than to get in the way.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, make an intelligence check.
It's not a matter of profits because everyone profits
no.
from this, as we all
Oh,
should.
wait a minute. I've had this inspiration sitting here since, like, months ago. I'm gonna use it. Oh, that was so dumb!
No.
Wow. Well, the game begins, and you quickly realize that Lord Roaring is a formidable opponent. His moves are calculated and precise, each one designed to test your strategic thinking and adaptability. Second check, now that you've used up your inspiration. That's better. The game progresses. You find yourself immersed in the challenge, your mind racing, trying to anticipate his next moves, hoping that you can counter it effectively. And your third check. You feel like the tension in the room is palpable. These are rather high stakes. The moves you make are scrutinized, as he weighs every decision you make. Eventually, though he beats you, he deems you worthy of his construct. There are not many who can pose any challenge to me, so do not feel too bad. Nonetheless, you are capable, and as such, he pulls out the control rod and gives you his shield guardian. I hope that you will use it well.
Is there an amulet?
I guess it is an
Because that
amulet.
has an ability for the wearer of the amulet.
Yeah, I suppose it's an amulet, isn't it?
Yeah, because that's yeah.
I guess you could technically wear a control rod if it was small enough.
I am not commenting.
I'm so confused.
Did I miss something? Oh, about the control rod?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, why you're wearing control rods then.
Yes, you are provided with a shield guardian. You now have control of a shield guardian.
Yay.
Where's the shield?
Because they cast shield.
Actually, let me check. I believe see what the last spell he cast on it was. He will tell you before you leave. It currently has a lightning bolt stored within it.
Just like a single one?
Oh, you can only charge one. You can only put one spell in him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he gives you the control amulet after the game.
Thank you. We will use it wisely.
I hope that you are able to maintain it and return it to me intact. And when you do, we can have a rematch. Nonetheless, your meeting with Lord Rowinghorn. Actually, he would ask at the end, do you have any interest in joining our organization?
Well, let's see what waits for me at the end of all of this.
Very well. It has been a pleasure. And a servant leads you out, and you can head back to your quarters. So, you have got the help of the Harpers, and they have given you a shield guardian.
I did it, guys. I did the smarts.
Well done, Aaron. I never doubted you.
Well, now we have a tall metal man, a tall metal lady.
And they get together. Have a tall male baby.
So not to kiss.
Zed, I don't think that's how it works.
Not before marriage.
Use them like action figures and try to make them make out.
Yep. Look cowboy agent! John, move them!
And so help me if I see them holding hands.
How did I get
Okay.
stuck with this group again?
Well, God, your eyes up. We can't see at all. We gotta go.
I'll get blind sense some way or another.
But, yes, you all get your long rest, and although unseen, the morning sun rises over Gauntled, casting a golden glow across the ancient stone city, or more likely the mountain above it. And immediately first thing in the morning, there is already a dwarf messenger waiting outside your quarters. This one dressed in the livery of the Order of the Gauntlet. As you step out in the morning, he announces, "The Laniver Strelo requests the presence of one among you. He wishes to test your worthiness if ye can join the ranks of the Order of the Gauntlet. Only if ye prove worthy and join our ranks is he willing to give you access to our resources.
And what exactly does this worthiness entail?
You'd have to ask him.
Probably send someone with morals.
We are the Order of the Gauntlet. Strength and honor.
John,
I
either
got
you
it,
or Zed are gonna go. Why don't you do rock, paper, scissors or something? Unless Zed just wants a nap.
I'll try to.
Tony,
So which one of you two is doing?
I'll
Who
go
wants
find
to talk
somebody.
more?
John, you go deal with it.
I will go.
Alright. Well, upon deciding on which warrior shall be joining, the dwarf leads you until you approach a secluded part of the city, where there is a training ground. At the entrance, there are banners of the Order hanging. Inside the training ground, you find knights sparring with one another, their movements precise and controlled. And at the center of the field stands Sir Laniver, a broad-shouldered and stalwart figure, his weathered face speaking of countless battles. As you arrive, Sir Laniver turns. Welcome! I'm Sir Laniver Strail. I assume you are the one who has been sent with the hope to command my knights. I can only entrust such command to those who prove worthy, and only those of the Order are worthy.
Oh, I'm worthy.
Well then, I look forward to counting you loyal to our cause. If you wish to join our order, I have a number of trials. A trial of courage, a trial of wisdom, and a trial of justice.
That wisdom one. Not expecting.
Sounds good to me.
Tell me, are you prepared to face these trials?
Can't be that hard.
And of course, where are my manners? What shall I call you?
You can call me Little John.
Very well.
I don't know why, but
Come
I
with
just
me, then.
imagined him taking one of those mushrooms and quick eating it as he says it.
Very well then. Come with me, John.
No foreshadowing.
Well, Sir Laniver goes to a different part, leaving the training grounds, and leads you to a very narrow stone bridge suspended over a deep chasm. He then points to it. Cross the bridge without faltering.
How far is it?
It's about 30 feet across.
I mean, go across.
You must make an acrobatics check.
Uh-oh.
That's why. Like, oh no.
It shouldn't be terrible.
Nope. Really?
It was bad.
You had to say it, didn't you?
You start crossing and you immediately start slipping and falling. And as you see the chasm opening up before you, the illusion is dismissed and you simply fall on the floor.
I knew that was going to happen.
You showed no hesitation. Courage and bravery are commendable, but only a fool rushes into every dangerous situation without seeing how to actually succeed. A great warrior must have a good head on his shoulders. You've passed the test of courage. Now let us see if you have the wisdom, or if your courage is simply foolhardiness.
Yeah, it's definitely that.
As you stand back up from the false chasm that he had prepared, he hands you a puzzle box.
Oh no.
Reveal to me the message inside.
What's it look like?
It's basically a Rubik's Cube.
Please don't smash it.
Oh my gosh, please smash it.
That's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna try to crush it.
Alright, make a strength check. You crack it in half, and inside you see a folded up piece of paper.
I read it. I attempt to read it.
I mean, you're able to read it,
Yeah, I know.
and it simply says, "Succeed by any means necessary."
Woo! He did it!
Done. Here you go. I give him all the pieces back.
He says, and he nods and smiles. Wisdom doesn't necessarily mean picking the smartest way to solve a problem. Wisdom means knowing how to solve a problem with the strengths that you have. So long as you accomplish the goal, that is what matters. You have passed the test of wisdom. Now,
I can't wait to tell Lucas.
let us see if you have a sense for justice. Sir Laniver leads you to a small, dimly lit chamber, not too far from the training grounds. Inside, two individuals stand before you. A merchant dressed in fine clothes, and what looks to be a poor beggar in tattered rags. Both of them look rather anxious. These two stand accused of theft. One of them is guilty, and the other is innocent. Your task is to determine who is telling the truth and who is lying. Use your judgment and your sense of justice to uncover the truth.
I would ask. Well, I'd like to. Will they tell me the situation, or do I need to ask them? Like,
I mean,
what
you
did
can
you
ask them.
guys steal?
The merchant immediately states, This beggar has been loitering around my shop for days. Yesterday, I caught him red-handed with my wife's necklace. I must have stolen it when I wasn't looking. To which the beggar then pleads, I swear I didn't steal anything. He's lying to cover up his own misdeeds. He saw me as an easy target to blame for his missing goods.
So why is the merchant being accused of theft if he's just accusing this one of theft?
The merchant just kind of, I didn't steal anything. To which the beggar said, hey, he stole the jewelry and he plans to pin the blame on me.
So where is the jewelry?
To it, both of them just say that, well, they don't know. The merchant, I have no idea where it is. Obviously, he took it. And the beggar said, I never took it, so can't tell you where it is.
So it's just one word against the other and that's it?
Basically.
There's no proof?
Nope. Just
Little John would pick the merchant and say he is the criminal in this situation.
What exactly is the basis for picking me? You have no proof that I did anything.
Well, you have no proof that he did anything. Why would you accuse somebody without any proof?
He's been loitering around my shop for
unless you're
days.
hiding something.
I don't know what you're talking about. He's been loitering around my shop for days.
People can't be around your shop. They just are automatically stealing stuff if they're nearby.
Must be plotted something.
Even if that were the case, that's not a crime. He was just plotting something.
The merchant quickly starts stumbling over his words and can't seem to find any answers.
I mean, that's my decision.
Yep. You eventually come to the conclusion that the merchant is lying. He has no excuse for any of it. Apparently, some jewelry was misplaced, and he is simply blaming the beggar. So Sir Laniver nods approvingly.
Off with his head.
You've shown fairness and integrity in uncovering the truth. These are qualities we seek in the Order. You've proven yourself worthy. He gestures to a nearby knight, who presents you with a gleaming gauntlet symbol. Wear this with pride. You're now one of us.
Thank you.
You have my knight.
I'll go back and let everybody know.
And you will literally have, I believe, 5 knights that are under your command now.
5 knights and a bard.
Oh, yep.
Bad movie.
That's the barber.
Double check. Just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure it's 5 knights. And yep, 5 knights. And he asks you about your weapon.
This is my axe. What about it?
Is it a good axe?
It is a good axe.
Oh.
Unless you have a better axe.
No, I have a hammer.
I'm not one for hammer. It needs to be a blade.
Just thought I'd offer. But yes, you now have 5 knights that have joined you. The party is growing once more. But what do you do with the rest of this day? As Little John reports back, I don't know, what do you do with your pin of the Order?
Well, I show it to them, and then I say, I'm wise, just so you guys know. And I got 5 knights following me now.
You do. You have 5 knights following you around that have to obey you.
Of course you are, my friend. No one would dare say otherwise. In fear of being punched.
What was that?
To which Althea would run up and be like,
These guys have to do what you say?
Yep.
and she gets a little mischievous grin as she looks at them all.
Oh, knights. Althea the dragon. These are the knights. I introduced them. Because I'm sure they're not terrified in any way.
I mean, she's not in her dragon form. She's a little kid
Oh,
right now.
right.
So they're all just
yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
This, oh, it's small.
I forgot anybody can be a dragon.
Anybody can be a
Oh,
dragon.
knights are dragons?
Oh no,
Not
not him again.
But yeah, the knights find it bemusing that you refer to the little girl.
You cut off at your little girl.
I did. But I know what you're saying.
They find it amusing that you refer to a little girl as.
Kitty got cut off.
Literally cut off at the exact same moment.
That you refer to a little girl as a dragon.
Yeah.
They don't seem to believe you. Think it must be some kind of inside joke they're not aware of.
Believe me, they have to do what I say.
But nonetheless, what do you do now? You gained the alliance of 2. Those are the 2 that were probably more willing. Is everybody still there?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
very
I
quiet.
was wondering the same thing.
I'm
was
not
like,
quite sure what to do. I was kind of thinking.
Well, I'm probably gonna go be horny.
Oh boy.
Well, if you all need me, I believe Eldeth and I had a conversation before, and I intend to make good on it.
Oh boy.
I'm off on my own little adventure. It starts in Eldeth's bed, and then moves on to the floor, perhaps the kitchen, the bedroom, again, bathroom. I don't know where it ends. Probably not by tonight.
That's a lot of encounters.
And then I go off to find Eldeth. And that is what I will do.
Are you going to be taking a short rest in between each one?
As needed.
I'll take the potion of vitality with me.
Well, it's not hard to find Eldeth. She has an actual house in the city, because this is her home.
No, I would tell her, well, exactly the same thing I said. A little adventure.
Well, she finds the concept quite funny, but it's a little early in the day for that, as far as she's concerned.
Well, perhaps
still
we
has
go
other-
out, get a few drinks.
She has other business to attend to first, and then, perhaps later tonight, you can join her in her chambers.
I'm sure if it's to be, we'll find each other.
Nonetheless. Is anyone else doing anything during the day?
What?
What was that? Going back to the piss and whistle?
Bring us more of that ham drink.
Well, 1 silver. You can get yourself a green kobold.
I'm gonna get 10 again.
Just eating ham and drinking liquor.
Yep.
Oh, what's everybody else doing?
I don't know. Is there a library?
There are libraries.
I
Lots
wish
of
to go and read.
scrolls and tomes.
See if I can find anything here, about the Underdark and stuff that might actually just help us.
I mean, you wouldn't find any information that's particularly new to you. I mean, that's partially why they want you to find the Great Library of Graven Hollow.
I'll just read all day and then go back to my room.
Alright. Well, if nobody else is doing anything really during the day, then evening approaches. Diathos goes and shares a night with Eldeth.
I had to follow it up as one of my personality traits.
I mean, she's definitely willing to, and you've improved your relations with Eldeth. She's definitely rejoining the party. But when you go back to your quarters, Lucas, there's somebody already in the room.
Well, I immediately reached down to my hand crossbow, being as I wasn't expecting someone in my room.
So jumpy. That is a little unnecessary, I think.
Yeah, it says some person in my room.
You know who I am. And while I'm not particularly acquainted with you personally, Lucas, I know your family.
Ah, hails.
It is Davra Jasur, the representative of the Zentarum.
Well, what exactly you wanting?
As I stated, I don't know you personally, but I at least know that you come from a family, and a family that runs a business that sometimes intersects with my business.
And I'm sure you also know that I walked away from that business.
I'm aware, but you're the only one with any sense for business in the first place.
Well, I definitely can't leave it to John.
I am well aware that Mantle Dareth is the key to this entire plan working. And demons in the Underdark affect my business. If anything, I'm the one that has the most to lose if this is a legitimate threat.
God, that's the
What? You broke off.
exact argument I was going to make if I was the one negotiating his end. Oh, I cut off.
You cut off.
Oh, I said, God, that's the exact argument I was going to make if I was the one negotiating with the Zin.
Well, I'm pretty sure demons are just bad for business in general. But I do understand that you would be losing quite a bit.
Yes, and let's just say I'd like a little bit of insurance for any losses that I will make in this investment.
And your price would be what?
I would like 25% of any treasure found on this next expedition into the Underdark. I am trying to run a business, Lucas, and I figured you of all people would understand that.
Well, I'm sure the king wouldn't have any issue with that. Personally, I've just only been hired to deal with the demons, so if you want 25%, I'm sure that's a fair price, being as you are kind of the key to this.
And now that the budget has been dealt with, the more important part, any information given to King Bruno or any of the other faction leaders, I don't want there to be any secrets kept from me.
Well, I'm pretty sure you've been told everything we've told everybody else.
I just want to make sure nothing is kept back. Information is very important. Knowledge is power. Made it well. But if you are willing to agree to these... Why can't I think of the word?
Conditions.
Conditions.
Propositions.
Yeah, conditions. Then I shall give you access to our trading post, Mantle Dareth. I also have a number of mercenaries. Yes, let's use that word. They will be accompanying you.
Well, like I said, I don't think the king's gonna have an issue with it. As long as your mercenaries don't cause issues with my people, I think we'll be agreed.
Very well then. I look forward to working with you again in the future, Lucas.
It's a possibility, but who knows?
With that, she walks back out the door, the one that was locked, even though she was already inside.
Alrighty.
Well, you now have the Zentarum.
So it's just the lords and the emerald.
Yes. It's just going to cost you 25% of everything you find in the adventure.
Yes, that's my
Most of you get a long rest. Diathos might have a little bit of a rough night, depending on how things go.
I have that potion of vitality.
No, you don't! Or
Yeah,
did
dude.
when did you swipe that?
I would say Eldeth has a pretty high constitution, despite how she...
I'm gonna need it. And what are things for? Not to use them when you need them.
You all get your long rest, wake up the next morning. Not always easy to tell, you're technically back underground. It's just like being in the Underdark again, you don't really see the sun anymore. But there are portions of the city of Gauntlgrim where you can go out and see the day at least. So what do you do now?
Yep.
Should we check in with the? Oh, my night was great, by the way. Should we check in with the Great Forge or whatever?
I suppose we
Does
could.
anyone need any particular gear made? Oh, I would like better armor, possible. Though, being dwarves, I don't know if they would specialize in light armor.
They definitely don't.
Maybe they can make a new axe.
That would
Yeah.
be something that's within their abilities.
That's what we want to do. I guess we can head over to Great Forge. Would be nice to maybe get those rings I was looking for.
Alright, you...
Do the rings and the cloak stack?
I'm
I
not sure off the top
never
of my head.
checked that, but I'm pretty sure they do.
Yes,
I feel like they do.
They do.
I was pretty sure they do.
Even though
Then
they
I
do
would
this
be-
basically the same thing.
I would be in the market for the ring as well.
Me too.
Well, they can definitely make +1 weapons, because they've got that.
I've already got that.
You always have a spare.
That's true.
You
I
like
need
your
a
pointy
feat
bits.
so I can dual wield two-handers.
Otherwise, they're also capable of crafting gauntlets of ogre strength,
What are those? How high do those get you to?
Those are the
or gauntlets of ogre power. They bring you up to 19.
Okay. 19. Okay.
That'd be a 10
That's right
point
there.
boost for me. Or no, I'm at -1.
Yeah, it put me up to from 12 to 19. No, I don't use strength anything, so
Yeah, neither do I.
it matters. I guess if we ever needed to do an acrobatics check or
How
athletics
much
check.
would it be for a +1 short sword?
They will provide you with a +1 short sword.
Yeah, I'll take that. Do they got
It's
any
a good thing I didn't buy that
shields?
+1 rapier then, because I can just get a
Yep,
Come on, a plus one.
well, they probably don't make rapiers, because again, they're dwarfs.
that's very true. I mean, if you ask, they know how to make them. They just don't normally make them.
It'll be a broad rapier.
Well, it'll be a rapier, but the basket will not be. The basket will be kind of square.
It's a box.
I mean, it's well balanced. I
Well,
could
then
flip it
again,
around and
he
use it as
doesn't
a hammer.
actually need a basket hilt either, though. Could be just
They
a
make a
standard
very-
crossguard.
Yeah, so
Could be an S guard too.
it's got a +2 short sword, so that's good.
Tyler, I'm pretty sure that's just dagger, isn't it?
No, you can have a rapier with an S guard on it. You could just have a lot of different guards on a rapier.
I thought you were talking about the headstock.
Oh,
But they also know how to make most +1 metal armors. They don't do leather.
Yeah. Unfortunate for me. Maybe there's in time they'll be able to provide that.
If you pay them.
Well, yeah, but
What leather does the sister... Not leather. What armor does the sister wear?
I believe she's currently wearing chainmail.
So, see if she wants to get something better.
I mean, she's not going to say no to any.
So yeah, she'll get her better armor.
+1 chainmail.
well, I mean, if Eldreth is joining us, what does she wear?
Oh,
Or will she
Eldreth
already
can
be
get-
fitted?
she can get her own stuff.
Okay.
What? Great act.
A great axe. They can do a +1 great axe. But yeah. Besides +1 weapons and +1 armor, they don't have very many special things.
do they do +1 shields?
They could do a +1 shield.
You're an echo voice, Joe.
They can do a +1 shield. Like I said, the Great Forge has only been recently restarted, and they no longer have the means that they once did to craft the great wonders.
Well, I'm assuming they got a nice surplus of bolts.
Oh yeah, they can easily make you bolts, especially considering dwarves prefer crossbows over arrows, or over bows.
I'll take 50 bolts.
They will provide you with them.
Excellent. Those are going in my bag. And then, I think
Blunted bolts for that crossbow whispering crossbow.
blunt bolts. It's still gonna hurt.
I know, but it still hurts, but it'd be fucking hilarious.
I mean, you realize how much I hurt when I shoot people, right?
I could use it.
Not that. Yeah, like 50.
I'm just imagining you using the crossbow of whispers. A bolt randomly hits a guy with a sneak attack. I can see you. Like moves and takes cover somewhere else, gets hit by a second one, still see you.
It's even better because we both have the ability of doing the sneak attack.
I'm gonna hit him again. I'm closer now.
Oh, you just keep... Oh, you could drive someone insane with that. But, if there's nothing else going on, I'm just gonna practice shooting with Althea.
Alright. Well,
Oh, I might lounge around a bit. Think a bit. And I'll go to her.
Eldeth would ask you, Diathos, about the. She believes it would be a very good idea to ask Morista. I still think that's a weird name for a dwarf.
Yeah, it
to
is. But it is Emerald Enclave, so.
Still, that you should go with her and convince the Emerald Enclave to support this venture. She thinks it should be easy, after all. Morista already is loyal to King Brunor, so she should want to do that.
Yeah, you just gotta give her some of that Diathos charm.
Very well. If you believe I can be of assistance in this matter, I will go with you.
Well, Eldeth leads you to one of the very few above ground areas of Gauntlet Grip. A small glade with a handful of trees, grass, you can actually see the blue skies above you, and a freshwater pond. And there, you find Morista simply meditating amongst nature, taking it in. Eldeth kind of shoves you forward. You're the one that's good at talking.
Apologies, Marista. I did not mean to disturb your tranquility, but I would like to speak on the matter of an ally in this future expedition.
Very well. What is it I can do for you?
Well, as I mentioned, I was hoping to secure your cooperation. There are going to be a number of things that, though we have dealt with, only just. And I imagine your expertise in the laws of all things that are nature might help in this matter.
I'm not certain what help the Emerald Enclave can offer. At least not within the realm of the Underdark.
If I understand... Go on.
There is not many growing things down there.
If I understand your orders, directorate, well enough, the daemons down there have perverted everything they touched, including what little does grow down there, as well as the creatures. And while in some matter we can set it right, perhaps it would be better to have someone, or at least the assistance of someone that is more better suited to handling such things. And should we fail, the corruption would very much spread above ground and threaten the balance of everything. Not just nature, but all of society, all of civilization.
Morista stands up from her little grove and turns to face you finally.
As I've stated before, I serve my king, and I agree that this is a threat. But I don't know that I have much that I can offer that will be of any help.
It is better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, I suppose.
Very well.
Okay.
Then, the only thing that I have that can at least make sense within the Underdark, I shall send you 3 of my dwarven scouts, and I can provide riding lizards for you and your companions.
Even if it doesn't seem it now, that is still a tremendous boon.
Be aware, I have been told that you've already gained the aid of Malanavir's knights, and obviously, you're not going to be able to fit a shield guardian on the riding list. So, they're not going to speed you up by much. The slowest member of your party is still going to be the basis for how quickly you'll move through the tunnels.
The riding lizards have a climbing speed, right? They actually can go up
They
walls
do.
and stuff.
Yep.
Then I would press with... True, we wouldn't be moving very well, but would be very much safer. Especially if scouts were to take these lizards.
The
Make
scout,
sure our perimeter is not breached.
my scouts will have their own mounts, more of the riding lizards. And as I stated, I'll give them to you and your party, but I do not have the means to give them to everyone that will be accompanied.
To us alone is fine.
Well, then I shall provide them with my blessing as well as that of my king.
I hope you can make good use of them. I'll send my scouts once I speak to them.
I give her a deep nod, as much as Diaphos is willing to give to anyone.
Well,
Thank you for your assistance.
she simply nods back, and then goes and walks amongst the trees once more. She's considered strange for a dwarf because she likes to read. Yes, you've been given 3 dwarven scouts that are familiar with the Underdark. They can help you make sure that you don't get lost down there and provide food and provisions if you need to scavenge. And every member of the party will be given a riding lizard. You now have the Emerald Enclave on your side. Huh, there's apparently no art handout for the riding lizard. Thought there would be. Oh well. That leaves only the Lord's Alliance. But it is after 9, so I think we will call it there.